Welcome to the First Look Seminar. And Gino Bacola, I always start with you, my friend. And all eyes tomorrow are on the Calbreds. And now, Gino, all eyes are on the Pick Six as well here at Santa Anita.
Yeah, normally we do a late pick five preview, but we got the call. Peyton Manning, check, audible in the text group chat just a few minutes before and said, hey, we're going to go pick six because now we've got a double carryover. I think $78,000 plus in the carryover for Saturday. So we'll help navigate you through that sequence. There's also a carryover over 18,000 in the Sunset Six, which is the wager that combines the last three races from Santa Anita, the last three from Gulfstream. Those three at Gulfstream are very good tomorrow. They include a couple of the Sunshine Stakes races for Florida Breds. I miss that old Sunshine Millions day that we used to have with the Calbreds and the Florida Breds that would run all together. But don't forget about those free contests. We have two. Chappie, it is an action-packed Saturday. Pick'em contest. There's big Santa Anita handicapping challenge contest at ExpressBet, and then you're trying to qualify for the PWCBC next week. So, all over the place tomorrow.
No doubt. And seminar skip, looking forward to a nice day. And, of course, it's about 80 degrees as well, so that doesn't hurt things.
Yeah, we got the best weather in the country always, but especially this weekend. And I tell you what, I'm looking forward to the Calbreds tomorrow. Pick six carryover. What can we ask for? Let's get lucky. Let's hit this thing.
No doubt. And joining us now, one of the best handicappers in the biz. He hasn't been on with us before. Frank Sure-Shot Scatoni, welcome to the show, my friend.
I'm so happy to be here. I watch you guys all the time, and I finally got the call. I love it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, welcome on. And you're doing a show now, right? Also that's on the Santa Anita YouTube channel as well. So why don't you let the folks know about that?
Yeah, well, Santa Anita has been at the forefront of creating new wagers that are extremely player-friendly. Guys like us, old school horse players. And the beauty of these wagers are 15% low takeout and higher minimum. So you're looking at the $3 all-turf pick three, which I write about on the Santa Anita website on the expert page. You're looking at the $3 late pick three, which is also part of my matrix column, and then the $5 late double. And the reason these wagers are phenomenal, in addition to the 15% takeout, it's the higher minimums. They force you to become better handicappers because you cannot buy races. You cannot spread as you would with a 50-cent increment. So, I'm the first to admit, I've gotten lazy over the years. Oh, I'll throw this horse in, I'll throw that horse in, because it doesn't cost all that much. But when you're dealing with these higher minimums, you have to be not only a really good, sharp handicapper, but you have to be very good at ticket construction. You can play multiple tickets to get you to the right result. And the payouts have been phenomenal. So based on that Santa Anita started, me and my buddy Kieran Thornton launched a show called Double Trouble to support these low takeout wagers. It was originally just the late double, but because of popular demand and how much fun we're having, and frankly, how much money we're making, because there's such good value for players like us, we now do the late pick three, and starting this year with Santa Anita, we're doing the all-turf pick three as well. So lots of opportunities out there to make some money, like the old school days.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we welcome you on, and you guys are sharp as well. And I'm glad we have this whole panel here because we're going to need some sharpies for the Pick Six carryover, Skip. So let's get it started. We are starting in race 4. There's 9 races tomorrow. First post is at 12:30, but we're talking all Pick Six here. And like we said, Calbreds take the stage. Race 4, Skip, 6 furlongs, Calbreds maiden 20. To start us off on the Pick Six, what are your thoughts here?
I'm going to go 4 deep in the first leg of the Pick Six. I'm going to use the 1. Remember April. That horse has got the best numbers, shortening it up from a mile back to 6 furlongs. I don't really like the rail draw, but the 1's going to be on the ticket with the highest numbers. The Mike Pipey, the 3, on time gal, is definitely going to be on my ticket. This horse is training well. It drops down in class. Mike Pipey does a great job. I like the breeding there. 3 is going to be on my ticket. Out of the firsters, I'm going to use 2 of them. I'm going to use the 7 California Cat. I like the breeding on this one. Edward Freeman does a good job. He really does a good job with, debut in the maiden claiming ranks. He wins at 33% of the time. And then the ones that I saw the works on that I like the most is the 10. Lovelock. This horse, I like the work on January 3rd. And that horse is going to be on my ticket with Edward Maldonado at 8-1. So I'm starting off 1, 3, 7, and 10.
1, 3, 7, 10, Frank. And obviously, we all like to do our homework and go to First TV to watch as many works as we can, and it really helps. So what are your thoughts here in this first leg?
Yeah, I finally get my shot in the big leagues, and I'm all about the pick 5, and then Chappie throws a pop quiz at me and says, hey, do race 4 too. So what Skip said, I like all of his horses.
I did. I'm guilty.
But you know what? I love it. Keeps me on my toes. I haven't had a chance to go back and do some of the pedigree work on this. Got a lot of first-time starters in here. It's a very low level, not so many reliable horses. But of the ones who have run, I was with Skip. You got to take on, you got to use the 1, Remember April, and the 3, On Time Gal. And of the firsters, the one that struck out the most to me was that number 7, California Cat. Ed Freeman doesn't have a lot of horses, but he does a really good job with what he has, and he's very good with young horses. He knows how to get the most out of them early. And if you look at the owner, it's Marcia Nafee. I don't think he's had too many horses for her, so this could be a good opportunity for him to make a splash with an owner of her prestige. He's had horses for Redham. He's had horses for himself, a couple of horses for other smaller owner outfits. But, Marcia Nafee's been in the game a long time. She's had some good horses. So I thought that horse was a little bit sneaky. But all that said, if you want the simplest way to tackle this race, follow Tom Quigley on Twitter, X, at Quigley's Corner. He will be in the paddock. He will tell you which one of these firsters looks good. So you might want to be able to throw them in your ticket based on, where the money's showing up as well.
Yeah, my apologies to Frank, especially because I did call Omaha, and added a race 3 minutes before we started. So my apologies there. And, we've talked about California Cat, Gino. That's the one works when they work at San Luis Rey. We have no visible shot of them and no workout reports to go on. So that's kind of the one we're guessing a little bit, other than maybe some percentages.
Yeah, and I think you probably want to use that one to start. And the works that you can see, or even from some of the workout reports, you're not going to be expecting these horses to be having like B's and B pluses because they're at this level, right? So a lot of them aren't very good. What I was looking for was who can at least show some speed, because none of the horses that have run have shown speed at all early on. And of the horses that are working, does some of these horses at least have some speed? Because maybe that's all you need in a race like this. I think you have to use the 10. This is a horse who has shown very good speed early on, and look who jumps aboard first time out, Edwin Maldonado. And if you're just checking the boxes of things with first-time starters, right? You look at the works, you look at the tab, fine, they look solid. You look at the barn, and when you look at the initial stats, they don't look great at first glance. But when you open up a little bit over the last 5 years, this barn is 14% with first-time starters, 13 out of 96. So they're very capable with the right type of horse in the right type of race. And then you look at the Dam was a winner. And then the best part of all, this horse is a half sibling to a horse named Happy Chappie. How about that, Chappie? I mean, we're going to put him right in the winner's circle, this 3-year-old filly. So, Lovelock on the outside related to Happy Chappie. I've seen not Happy Chappie before, but I've also seen Happy Chappie. And Happy Chappie is a solid one. So for me, the 10, for me, the 7, the 8 of the horses that have run, I think is also a little bit interesting. If this horse comes back quickly, because just ran on January the 9th, and was just too far back, tried to move on the inside. This horse had a really wide draw, but the race 2 starts back at Los Al wasn't bad. There's a couple races in there that are fine. Just keep that in mind. I like the 3 and the 8, most of the horses who have run. I like the 10 best of the others. So yeah, I'll try to build around those.
All right. And, Cedro, he trained Happy Chappie. It's been claimed since then. So I just found my single, even though I haven't watched the works. Sometimes you just got to go on a hunch. So here we go. All right, Frank, now we're going to go back to you for the second leg, race 5, mile and 8, the Unusual Heat Turf Classic, presented by City National. What are your thoughts here, going a mile and an 8th?
Yeah, I don't have to tell anyone that number 8, Vodka Vodka, is the fastest horse in the race right now and is in great form. But I have a little bit of a tricky time with this race because all but one of these horses has run 9 furlongs. So a couple of these are facing some distance questions. And I think a lot of this is going to have to do with what kind of pace we're going to get, right? I can see Mr. Disrespectful going, trying to wire the field. Kind of need Stamp My Passport to get out there, keep that horse honest. Vodka Vodka is probably going to track in third in a good spot. But if it gets a little quick up front, the race, has the potential to fall apart. So I will absolutely be using Vodka Vodka just because I love Aggie Ordonez. I love that barn. I think that is a super cool horse, and I'd really like to see that horse step up and get a big win like in this Turf Classic. But my sneaky play in here is going to be number 6, Call Me Sir. I know the horse looks a little slow and overmatched on paper, but look, he's a lightly raced 4-year-old. There's some upside here. Mark Glatt, when he's on, the dude is on, and he is clicking and firing on all cylinders right now. He had a great Santa Anita meet last year. He had a great summer at Del Mar. And then you know how these things cycle, right? You run through your conditions. You kind of have to reset your barn and get cooking again. So he was kind of cold and unbettable to close out the year. But once Santa Anita started up again, it seems to me like he's been pointing his horses, to the right spots. This is a big step up in class, and Mr. Disrespectful just beat this horse. But I like the way this horse finishes. And I feel like with a little extra ground in that last race, which he gets today, he gets 9 furlongs today, he could upset the apple cart at a big price. You get Hernandez sticking around, 6-1 on the morning line. He's kind of my key separator horse in the pick 6 and the pick 5, but absolutely using Vodka Vodka as well.
So Gino, Sure Shot makes a little case there for Call Me Sir, who should be a nice price. And as he mentioned as well, looks like it kind of goes through Vodka Vodka, who should get a great stalking trip. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'll give you, there's 3 that I like. Vodka Vodka is one of them. I'll talk a little bit about the other 2 that weren't mentioned. The first one is the number 1, Hey Jesse. So if you look at last year's form, or 2025's form, Hey Jesse was off from about January 18th, about a year ago, all the way till August. Then came back in August, and since then was only facing open company. All of those races were against better horses and pretty tough fields. Innovative. We're looking at stakes horses. Our buddy Ribbons, who we always like to mention when we see show up there in the past performance running lines. One of the horses that Hey Jesse beat came back to win next time out and performed pretty well. And then most recently in the red carpet, that was a good field just compared to this field where you've got Mrs. Astor, Public Assembly, Paradise Lake just came back to win the grade 3. Robert J. Frankel next time out now gets to move back in with Calabreds and gets to cut back to 1 1/8, win 1 1/4 and 1 3/8 the last 2. So distance is no problem for her. She's going to sit down the inside. She's going to save all the ground. She just needs what Frank was kind of talking a little bit about. She needs the pace to develop in front of her. And I think it just might, because you have Mr. Disrespectful who wants to be forward. I think you have Stop Digging, who can probably be part of the early pace too. Stamp My Passport maybe, and Vodka Vodka. When you look at this field, you've got Mr. Disrespectful now a 6-year-old, None Above the Law is an 8-year-old. You've got a 9-year-old in Freeport Joe. You've got horses who 7-year-old horses who are maybe a little bit older. And this horse has a bunch of upside. Just turned 4 years old. Feel like the best races are still in front of her. So I like her. The other one to mention is the 7 Stamp My Passport, who is a 7-year-old, but just 19 starts. So pretty lightly raced for a horse that's that old, right? So, you look back at some of the grass races, they're really good. Look at who this horse has been facing just straight through. Mana Rose, one of the better Calabreds out there right now, who's capable of putting up 100+ Beyer speed figure. It's a really, really nice horse. Prior to that, Stamp My Passport is winning. Before that, Kings River Knight, surprisingly perfect, is in the running lines. That horse is a 12-year-old who just ran, cool story, 101 times, made the 101st start, and then just finished and retired after. So I think Stamp My Passport was kind of facing some tough horses, some hard knockers. Again, a horse who has been against open company for a lot of those races. I'm going to try to build a lot around the 1, 7, and 8. I think I can kind of spot this field pretty well with where they'll be set up in the race. A horse maybe towards the front end, sitting mid-pack, maybe another coming from out of it. So I think I can try to get through with those 3.
So Gino mentioned some of these. It's nice to see Skipper, some of these grizzled veterans back running again, those hard knockers that just keep rolling. And he mentioned the one a little bit coming out of the open company races. What are your thoughts here? Anybody else to add?
I don't. I like vodka, and that's going to be my single on my pick 6. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to play a pick 5, and I'm going to use a couple other ones. But on the pick 6, I'm going to single vodka. Not a lot of speed in here. The 2's going to go. Maybe Stamp My Passport will keep it company. I think vodka is going to be in a perfect spot, dropping back against State Breds, coming out of that Nisos Nevada Beach race. Likes the grass, won 2 races on the grass. I think vodka will win. But on my pick 5, I'm going to definitely use the 1. I'm definitely going to use the 2. And then I'm going to use vodka. But on the pick 6, single to 8, vodka.
Frank.
Can I just chime in real quick? I agree with you guys about Hey Jesse. The reason I didn't mention Hey Jesse is she going to run tomorrow? Because she's also entered in the Astra against fillies and mares a little later. So that's just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Centered. Yeah. But I thought it was a sign of confidence that he even bothered to enter her here against the boys.
Absolutely.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
Good point. And we all have to single somewhere. Skip is picking his spot there with vodka as we move on to race 6. Gino Bacola, back to you. 6 furlongs, allowance optional claimers here. I believe Coach Cronin. No. Titanic Thompson, the morning line favorite at 8-5. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, and on paper, looks pretty good. I think from a class standpoint, he's probably the best horse in this race. He makes me a little bit nervous as a horse if you were like trying to single, just because he does seem like he's pretty one-dimensional. Like he's not going to come from well off the pace. If there's a battle up front early on, you might feel like you're in some trouble if there's 2 or 3 other horses pushing him. If that's the case, there may be 1 or 2 that were on my radar, and they're probably the horses right outside of him. Horizon Wildcat, who's getting a slight cutback and is in decent form. The 8 was a horse who I started warming up to a little bit more, though, because you look at Refocus, and it's funny. He is just on turf, a complete stone cold closer. He has absolutely no speed whatsoever. You go back earlier in his career, he actually won a couple races on the dirt to start his career, sprinting early on. And in those races, he was able to be involved. Like, I'm not saying they're going to put him on the lead in here, but it is nice to know that if you look back, it might be a weapon in his arsenal that he has. He may have some speed they can use. And if you're going to try to use it, who better than Edwin Maldonado to jump aboard to try to get that speed out of you? So I don't want him on the lead, but can he just be sitting like 4 or 5 lengths off of it? And if they go fast early on, I think he's the classiest or one of the classiest horses in here that could maybe take advantage. So I think 6-8, maybe the 7, depending on how I build the rest of my tickets, or maybe a horse I throw into pick 5s and stuff. Probably do most of my my wagers around those 3 in here.
6, 7, 8 for It's Me, Gino B.
I gotta go
Skipper.
6, 7. 6, 7. My son's doing it all the time, so
I still have no idea what that means, but
nobody
that's
does. Nobody does.
No clue. And I know Skip has no clue either. So, by the way, Skip, is Zenyatta joining us today, by the way?
She is. She's a little tired. She's not happy that I'll be leaving her for the Kings game, so she's pouting right now.
She blends right in with the bedspread there, so you can't even tell she's there. So, but she will be howling in about 20 minutes. So, Skip, back to you. 6, 7, 8 for Gino.
Yeah, she'll be howling for about 5 hours.
There you go.
Then you have a bobblehead.
I'm going to use the 3. I'm going to go 3 deep in here. I'm going to use Coach Cronin. 2 wins have been over Santa Anita's main track. I like the way that it won last time. I know that was at Los Al. I like the work on the 31st. This horse looks sharp. Glad is hot. We've already mentioned that before. When he gets hot, you just ride him. And I mentioned it, I believe it was opening week. Watch out for the Glack barn. He's got these horses ready to fire, and he's going to have a big meet. So Coach Cronin, I'm going to use Titanic Thompson for all the reasons Gino said. And Refocus is the one that I like. I love going route to sprint and turf to dirt. And this horse has 2 wins on the main track, as Gino had mentioned. Both of those were at Santa Anita. So I'm going to go 3, 6, 8.
368. I lost you guys all there for a second there. So I thought I didn't know if you could see me or hear me, but I was gone. Anyways, back to you, Sure Shot. I thought Coach Cronin has gotten really good since Glatt claimed Coach Cronin. Obviously, like you said, he's on a roll. I'm guessing you're probably using him in the mix.
Maybe on some of my B tickets. I'm with Gino and Skip. The wise guy horse in here is Refocus. Absolutely. I mean, this horse has better dirt form than turf form. And I think the reason they've been running this horse on turf is because, he's still eligible to be protected at this level. They didn't want to lose the horse. Well, O'Neill's hot right now. He's being aggressive. He's putting his horses where he can win. He's running the horse for the 20K tag because it's back on dirt. The horse has already cleared this condition on dirt. And, if we lose the horse, we lose the horse, but we get a win. Love the jock change to Maldonado. Going to be aggressive. Love the cutback. Second off the bench. O'Neill he's pushing all the right buttons. Talk about a hot barn. I think that's the absolute sneaky play in here. And then, of course, Titanic Thompson, you have to use. But, again, like from a single perspective, it's very similar to me with Vodka Vodka. The horse has never been 9 furlongs, right? So that concerns me a little bit. Titanic Thompson has never won on dirt. I mean, all of his wins are on turf. So that concerns me from a single perspective. But look, if he runs back to any of those turf races, I mean, he absolutely wins. He'll be prominent early. He'll put the other speed away. And, I think the race absolutely goes through him. But I could see Refocus just tracking from a good in the clear spot, no kickback, and then just grinding them down late and getting the W. I don't know if we'll get 8-1, but maybe 4-5-1. I'd be okay with that.
So another favorite here in the sequence that might have a little, maybe some vulnerability, and Gino and Sure Shot making a big case for on their A tickets, at least on Refocus at 8-1. Excuse me, the 8 horse. All right, Skipper, we're going to race 7. This is the Leanne Howard Cal Cup Oaks. Going a mile on the turf. What are your thoughts here in race 7?
I love a horse in here, and I'm glad I'm first pick, and it's the 3, Sea Drew. I loved the maiden win, 6 furlongs at Santa Anita. This horse angled out and just blew by him, won easily. Next time they got a little aggressive. They stepped it right into the Jimmy Durante grade 3, broke from post 11 out of 11. This was such a sneaky good trip. Never got asked at any time, had to stall a couple times. This horse down the stretch, you watch ahead on, never got asked one bit. I love this horse dropping back against straight or Calbreds. I love this horse. This is a single. Sea Drew. I'm all over it.
All right, so Skip comes back with another single, Sure Shot, and Dan Blacker threw this one. She went right against the Wolves in a grade 3 second time out. Both those replays were impressive, and what Skip said. What are your thoughts here?
If I could show you my notes at the very end of my notes for Sea Drew, in all caps, single. Number 3, Sea Drew, single. I absolutely love this horse. I don't think we'll get anywhere near 4-1 on the morning line, but this horse knows how to finish. And to Skip's point, that was a deceptively good 8th place finish last time. Had a break from the 11 hole, had no pace to close into. Still tried really hard and ran on her own courage through the wire. Was probably never meant to win that race. I think she is poised for a big run back in against Calbreds. She's facing a bunch of stretch out dirt sprinters. So she's absolutely going to get the pace to close into. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Easy game. Go to the windows. Number 3, Sea Drew.
And it's one of those things, Chappie, where like she finished 8th and she was only like 2 lengths out of 2nd in the race. It's one of those things where if she's like 4th, all of a sudden it feels better than 8th, right? When you're looking at her from that perspective, the race has already come back live. You've had a couple next out winners, and the winner that day sat 2nd. So it just didn't really set up for her to come from way, way out of it. In this race really should set up for her. I mean, from the 4 on, they all could be forwardly placed. 80s, Too Sassy, Cecilia Street, who I'll mention in a moment, Cashed, and Final Table Lady, they could all be pushing the pace, and it could set up beautifully for C. Drew. But the other horse who I am going to use is the 6, Cecilia Street, because I think she's going to be one that takes back 2 and sits. And I just like what I've been seeing from her as of late. Her last 3 races, very, very good. And what's kind of cool about them, she wins going long on the turf. She wins going long on the dirt. Then she runs second going long on the dirt. And then she wins going 6 furlongs on the turf. She's just in good form right now. All at different tracks, all different surfaces, different distances. She can sit, she can finish. She's not naturally as quick as a horse like Too Sassy, who's next to her, or probably Cashed in Final Table Lady. So I think she ends up maybe sitting 4th, and she could maybe get the jump a little bit on Siju. I'm going to use those 2. So I think it just really sets up for the horses coming from off the pace.
So we got 2 singles of the 3s, and Gino with the 3-6. And no one's using the 7. I actually did the tip sheet. I have the 3 on top as well. So that puts the piano squarely on the back of the 3. But and no one mentioned the morning line favorite, Cash, who is yet to try the lawn. I guess we'll see tomorrow, Gino. Then, like you said, adds to the pace presence.
Because that's what's tough. The win came in a field of 5 going 6 furlongs on the dirt. And here we're going a mile on the turf, right? Very different circumstances. She did finish second in a graded stakes race last time out and drops back, but I think it kind of shows you it wasn't the strongest in the world, because if you're just looking at Beyer speed figures, she earned a 65 Beyer speed figure in that grade 2 race, which is not overwhelming when you compare it to a horse like C. Drew, who ran a 64 in a race going long on the turf, which is much more relevant.
All right, that's going to be an interesting race. Everybody gets the favorite. I love it. That's how we make some money. And sure shot. We're moving on to race 8, a mile and a 16th, the California Chrome Cal Cup Derby, going a mile and a 16th. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I really just like 2 horses in this race. I think there's going to be a fair pace, some stretch out sprinters. I'm a little surprised at the morning line on number 4, Smoothin' Saturday, at 5-1. I mean, this horse has done absolutely nothing wrong. Debuted going long and won. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do. I don't care who the horse is. It's really hard to win at first asking, going around 2 turns. This horse did that. And then what? Comes right back and then wins the King Glorious against a few of these, at 7-2. Should get a great tracking trip. I think this horse will be in a good spot, ready to move when the race starts to slow down up front, which I think it inevitably will. And then the other horse I like in here is number 6, Ocean Bear. Won 3 in a row, looked impressive doing it, all of them. Never been 2 turns, but if you look at his progression, he's gotten faster as the distances have increased, and culminating in a nice win in the Golden State Juvenile at 7 furlongs last time. He's been freshened up. Clearly he can rate and pass horses. I'll talk about another trainer who's been pushing all the right buttons the last couple of months, Papa Padromo.
Yes.
He won Del Mar leading trainer title, I think, for the first time for him. So congrats to him. I just think that horse, I think that's a really nice horse, actually. I just think Smoothin' Saturday has a little bit of an edge because of the route experience.
So 4-6 here for Frank and Gino. I don't think we'll see 5-1 with a horse who's 2 for 2 with Michael McCarthy trading, but I'm in agreement there. I with those 2. Anybody else to add on your end?
Yeah, I'll add you 1 or 2 more. I think very logical, both of them in the mix for me. The one, My Boy Stan, I'm going to be including. This horse actually comes over from Gulfstream, where he faced Open Company. So he debuted against Maiden Claimers, but keep in mind, a Maiden Claimer against Open Company, a lateral move when you move in with, protected horses that are Calbred. Sometimes it's even a dropping class. You might have faced tougher Open Company Maiden Claimers than you would in a Calbred spot. Then he faced First Level Allowance Company in the second spot, in the second start. And he actually was sitting about 5 lengths off. He makes a big 3-wide move up into contention, a little bit flat late. The blinkers come on. Now you get to move in with Calbreds. I think it's a really nice spot for My Boy Stan. The price horse who I'm going to include is all the way to the outside, Cruise Home. This horse was a really good third in the debut. Very fast closing. It set this horse up perfectly to go long in the second start. Just 2 months later at Los Al, sitting about 2 or 3 lengths off, made a nice move up wide at the top of the lane, and really kind of straightened out and kicked on nicely in that long stretch at Los Alamitos. I think this horse is a little better than the speed figures might suggest. So completely agree with Frank, the 2 logicals that he pointed out, the 4 and the 6. I'm going to add the 1, and my price play is the 11.
Price pay is the 11 at 12-1 there, Skipper, for very cagey trainer Dean Pedersen. Are you using the 11 in your ticket as well?
I am not. I got a bomb that I am going to use that nobody mentioned, and that's the 10. This horse is bred good. It's bred for the distance. Now, listen, they bet it a few times. First time out, it won. Then they put it right in the graduation. Didn't run too good. I am smoking. It lost by a length and a half. What I'm glad they did to this horse, the all-time, the first-time gelding. And
ultimate equipment change. I think that's what you were going for.
Change. And what I like is since it's been gelded, it's worked 3 times. And the work on the 7th, I liked. It was working with the horse that's running earlier today, and it outworked it. The horse was going to blow right by. This horse dug in and galloped out very well. It's bred to get the distance. I think first-time gelding at 30-1, I'm using this horse. It was only 8-1 last time against Smoothin' Saturday. So we'll see what happens. Maybe the first-time gelding could do it at 30-1. I'm not leaving this horse off my ticket.
All right, so we entered the no chalk zone there late. Gino adding a 12-1, Skipper a 30-1 bomber with the ultimate equipment change. Somehow we're all alive there, Frankie, going into the last leg. So we're going down the hill, which we always love, the Sunshine Millions Philly Mayor Turf Sprint. What are your thoughts when we're 5 for 5 going into this giant pick 6 carryover?
I absolutely love these hillside races. They're my favorite. Just a little general handicapping info. When I look at these races, I always start from the outside in, and I typically try to find route horses with speed, cutting back, drawn outside down the hill. That's an automatic angle for me. Unfortunately, no one fits the profile in this race, so I don't have anything super duper clever. Obviously, number 3, Grand Slam Smile is the one to beat. Drawn in the 3-hole, but this horse has so much speed that I don't think it's that much of a problem. I don't typically like the inside post down the hill, but this horse is one down the hill, knows the configuration, should get an absolute perfect trip. And, I mean, just a cool racehorse, right? Look, 16 lifetime starts, 9 wins, 6 seconds, and 1/3. I mean, professional, right? But that being said, absolutely zero value, right? So most of my action will go through number 3, Grand Slam Smile. But when we are alive into this race, I would also like to have some backup tickets with number 5, Sneaker, who has beaten Grand Slam Smile before. I think it's a little interesting that Papa Padromo is adding blinkers on this 5-year-old mare, because she's run really well without them. Toss the dirt race. She's a turf horse, and, she likes the hill as well. And she should sit a good trip because she is a horse who, when she goes 2 turns, has shown some forwardly placed tactical speed. So I'm a little surprised she's 6-1 when her and Grand Slam Smile, have traded decisions. And then if I'm looking for some price horses, again, I don't want to get beat by a horse on the far outside. So number 9, Issa Court, she is not as good as Grand Slam Smile and Sneaker. She had every chance to win that last race against them, and she didn't. And she was getting a big weight break that she isn't getting today. But she now moves outside, and she's got tactical speed, and she will get an absolute perfect trip. Whether or not she has that little extra to get to the wire, I'm not so sure. But I'll use her in some capacity. And then my sneaky one in here will be number 8, Take Another Card. Lightly raced 4-year-old. Never been down the hill, but she draws well. And she has a kind of late kick in her route races. She will be flying home. She'll need a little help from the pace, but she should be super fit on the cutback. Flying home, she should be a very good price. So the race is as simple as Grand Slam Smile, but I'm trying to complicate it a little bit.
I love it. So obviously Grand Slam Smile's on the ticket. Frank has some prices there with the 5, 8, 9. Gino, he stole my thunder on the 8. I think that horse is live as well. What are your thoughts here? Anybody else?
Also, the 8-1 sprinting, in the career debut. So this is a horse who can absolutely, I think for this horse, it's just for her, it's more of just getting the pace to run at and just having that little burst, right? She has the burst. Can she just be in the spot and get some pace to run at? That's what makes this race a little bit tricky, because there are versions of this race where maybe the 1's in the mix, the 3's forwardly placed, maybe the 4 going deep. the 5 Sneaker, Tina Turner. Chappie, favorite Tina Turner song. What are we going with?
What's Love Got to Do with It?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Simply the Best we could go with too, right? I Need a Hero.
Private
also.
Dancer, man. Private Dancer.
Okay. That's what's great about Tina. You
Written
can
by
just
Mark
go
Knopfler.
so many different directions, but all of these horses have the opportunity or the possibility to show speed. I like to think of it sometimes in like, if this was simulated 100 times, some of these times they'll show speed. Some of the time they come back. There's definitely a version of this race where a lot of these horses are lining up, or there's 4 or 5 of them pushing each other. That would bode very well for Take Another Card. It's funny, when Frank was describing the down the hill horses that he likes to use, the horse who kind of fits the description a little bit, but is just drawn on the opposite end is the one prancing through Paris, right? Drawn to the inside, except the outside. Right. I do wonder if she could just kind of sit just behind and maybe not get maybe the rail doesn't hurt her very much. Can she just kind of save ground inside, let Grand Slam Smile and a couple of those horses go, and then she's got a little bit of punch on the cutback? Because what's funny about her, she's been down the hill before, and when she went down the hill, she beat Sneaker, who has beat Grand Slam Smile. Right. So, you play that common rival game. It's funny. They've taken turns beating each other based on the circumstances of the right trip. So I definitely want the 1, 3, and 8 building around those, maybe add in another, price or two if I can, based on, what my ticket looks like once I get here. But those are going to be the 3 I hope to be alive to.
Well, Skipper, I know you're not singling here because you already got 2 singles in the sequence, but Grand Slam Smile, boy, she brings it every time. She always runs her race. It kind of goes through her, but we're trying to beat her here, I think, Skipper. What are your thoughts here in the final leg?
I'm going to be spreading in here. Listen, she might just win. She's that good. She loves to win. 9 out of 16 starts. Turf, dirt, doesn't matter for her. Long, short. She's just a great cowbred. But all that being said, I'm definitely going to use the 1, Prancing Through Paris. I hate the inside draw, but I think JJ's just going to sit with all this speed. I think he's going to get a good trip. I'm using the 3. Going deep is my long shot. This horse is 2 for 2 on the grass. It shocked everybody at Del Mar, that 2 back. Last time they tried the dirt at Zia Park and didn't really run any good. Shortens back up, goes back to the grass. Sneaker, I like. Papa Padromo's on fire, puts the blinkers on. Mike Smith's riding good. And then I got to use the outside too. Take Another Card and Issa Court. Issa Court, anything that Hector Berrios rides, I love betting, especially on the grass, the outside draw. And the price, is the 8, Take Another Card with all the speed. So I'm going to go 1, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. I'm going deep in here.
Skip is spreading to end it out here. And Gino, as we said, double carryover, should have a huge pool, big weekend this weekend, kind of wrap us up what we have coming on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday as well.
Yeah, don't forget Monday racing coming up this week. And we're also going to have the carryover in the Sunset 6. So we have $18,000 plus carried over into that. Final 3 races at Gulfstream, final 3 races at Santa Anita. There's a coast to coast pick 5. I actually did a preview show for that earlier in the week too. If you want some help taking a look at that. And then the $78,000 carried over in the pick 6 that we just went through. Pick'em contest with NFL football games. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of NFL related stuff. If you're going to be sitting back and watching some of the football games, go to pick'em.santanita.com. You can win $500 for free every Saturday and Sunday. So make sure you're jumping in those. And then if you're a tournament player, you got to head over to ExpressBet because they have a big day tomorrow. There's a Beat the Host. I think it's Michelle Yu tomorrow is the tournament Beat the Host at ExpressBet. You've got the Santa Anita Challenge, which is a $500 entry. And then you're trying to get entered into the PWC BC. I'll be there at the Pegasus next week, which will be a big day for our friends at Gulfstream Park. So really looking forward to tomorrow. There's a lot going on, Chappie.
Thank God Gino knows all that information because I sure don't. So it's perfect when I send it to him before we go off the air. But well done, Gino.
Not only did you know,
well done, Frank. I'm glad you joined us.
That was good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's got it down, man.
Yeah.
He's good. Frank, thanks for joining us, my friend. We will have you back for sure. And I love that I threw you a curveball 2 minutes in time you joined us, so that was perfect. But we will double carry over tomorrow. racing Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all first post at 12:30, and we will be back in your TV and on your screens again next Friday. So thanks for joining us, guys. For Skipper, Sure Shot, and Gino, I'm Chappie. We'll see you next week. Good luck, guys. Thanks.
Good luck.